everybody, and welcome back to another video. Today I have something very special in store for you guys. If you followed my community post polls, a few weeks ago I asked about which Wings of Fire hero would make for the best villain, and which villain would make for the best hero. And well, after reading your comments and honestly diving deeper into the concept myself, I started to brainstorm for an amazing alternate universe story. Then I ended up crafting the tale that I'll be reading off to you guys in this video. I've created a world where the roles of some of our favorite characters have been swapped. I'm really excited to show you guys what I'm working on for this. But before we begin, a huge shout out to my patrons. Doug1195, 3 Moons, Slightest Wild, Fizz, Thistle, and Noobto. Thank you all so much for supporting me. Links to the social medias are in the description down below. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into the video. Because I can't dive fully deep into these worlds, I decided to write a snippet about what's happening in one of them. We're starting off this potential new What If subseries with Queen Wasp. To provide some context, the Leafwings are the ones with control over the Othermind, and it's up to this Hivewing Queen, who has a different heart, to work with Cottonmouth to stop them from infecting her tribes. Let's see a little bit of that, shall we? The harsh sound of endless pounding rang in Wasp's ears, and her heart raced faster than a hawk diving for its prey. The Leafwings are breaking down the door, vines snapping their way beneath its hinges in a mad fury. "Cottonmouth, do you have anything?" Wasp asked, stepping back. "They're almost inside." "Working on it," the human snapped, unfurling a bundle of leaves. Extracting a cure from a bloodthirsty, mind-controlling plant isn't exactly easy, you know. It takes time and precision. Wasp knew he was right. The Othermind, despite its great power, was delicate. A single wrong crushing of one of its thinner vines, and the poison smoke inside would make their minds as malleable as the ones of the dragons breaking in. It would be the end for the dragons Wasp loved, and had already failed. "If I had just told them about Hawthorne, maybe the Leafwings would have listened to me," she said through panicked breaths. "The Othermind is too dangerous, and they never would have tried to use Leafspeak on it to make it their weapon. Now it's the one controlling them. Cottonmouth, my silence has done the opposite of helping the dragons I care about. This kingdom has been thrown into destruction, and my dragons are dying. They are becoming part of its consciousness, and the scariest part of all this is that it was my fault." The human sighed, putting a needle through one of the plant's vines as it screeched in protest. "Wasp, you told the Leafwings the truth. You didn't burn down their trees. The breath of evil did. If that's the master they're serving, well, that's on them. They let their views be clouded by a deep, dark haze, one of vengeance. That is a scary thing, and it pains me to remember how I used to be. Before I saw the lies of dragons through the torment the Othermind gave me during its hold on my mind, I made those choices. I chose my own gain and revenge rather than the happiness and safety of my people, and even the creatures we had a duty to protect. But I saw with my own eyes the way it snapped their trees and set fire to the Leafwings' home. They saw your shadow and believed the wrong thing. You didn't hurt those dragons. The more you keep telling yourself you're responsible, the more of a chance the breath of evil has to take control of your mind. It doesn't need the liquid inside of itself to get into your head. It only does that first if you let it. Our thoughts have a bigger impact on ourselves than we like to think, Wasp. So the more you tell yourself you hurt them, the more the Othermind is just winning that battle inside you before it even lays a vine on your scales. It's like surrendering before the enemy can even march out of their weapons cave." The old Hivewing took a deep breath, closing her eyes. He's right. Never in my life, though, would I have thought my time as queen would include me talking to a human about saving my tribes. If Cottonmouth had not left the security of his cave to help me, I would have already lost. After he left the mindscape, he could have been free. No one would have known that he played a part in its unleashment all those thousands of years ago. He could have tried to live the rest of his days in the warmth of the sun, far from dragon claws or mythic mind control. He's kinder than he lets on. Cottonmouth knew the truth, and nothing forced him to risk everything for us. My kingdom is hurting. The Leafwings are trying to take from us what we never took from them. The Othermind's vines of toxins and lies have spread all throughout the continent, into the houses of my dragons. It wishes to pillage and torture, bringing its hatred into the hearts of life. But we have something it doesn't, something it can't feel when it's inside the heads of those it controls. Love. When it takes over, it voids a dragon of everything that makes them who they are. It's just a plant inside their brain, puppeteering over every thought and memory. That dragon is lost, gone to its touch. What the breath of evil failed to think of, though, is that you can't truly take love. It cannot take their memories, no matter how hard it tries. The Othermind has realized that it doesn't need to have touched a dragon yet with its power in order to have control. It's seen how it can still use those cowering in fear, the ones without hope. But what if there was someone who gave that back to them? Cottonmouth, Wasp began, I know what we have to do. Are you sure this is going to work? The human asked, opening a door to the palace pavilion. If you can't convince them, the Othermind will have your immediate location. It'll send its biggest troops down to infect the both of us. There will be no power over the Hives and the Silkwings, Wasp. They'll lose this fight. The queen nodded her head. I know the risks. I know how terribly awful the breath of evil is, too. I know just how much it wants to breathe down my neck and see through my eyes. I feel the wrath in its smoke and the way it wishes it could strangle me with each of its vines. I also know my tribe. I know each and every dragon living in my kingdom. No matter how big or how small, how infected or how free, I remember each of their names. The ones trapped in his mindscape will be hard to reach, but I know there are dragons out there, hiding amongst the hives. They will hear my voice, Cottonmouth, and they will love again. Scientists stared at the hiving queen with a deep respect, his eyes sparkling with the hope long gone from the man. I trust you. I know you will bring them back to us. Wasp gave a smile, eyes sparkling against the bright light of the setting sun. She looked through heavily lidded, tear-dotted eyes. We are sitting on an old day, and a new one will come. They will hear my voice, Cottonmouth, and they will set eyes upon this beautiful world once more. He gave a soft laugh to himself, looking back up at Wasp. You're a heck of a lot better of a ruler than I was, and that's why I have no doubts about what you're going to do. You're a good queen, Wasp, and you have a good heart. Leaving the darkness of the palace lookout room wasn't easy. The kingdom was abandoned. Surely the breath of evil had his forces hiding, creeping and stalking in every dark corner. Wherever the fleeting sunshine was void, they hissed against the wind, leaving the lit streets barren. It was like no soul was alive to hear her words. But I know my dragons. They're not really gone, Wasp thought to herself. 𝙒𝙤𝙁𝙁, the sweet, gentle neighbor who the queen saw bring dragons cups of tea every single morning at sunrise. Surely she would not be lost to this. Or Ant, the young, inventive dragonette with an eye for art and sculpture making. He would visit her chambers every afternoon during his lunch breaks at the academy and tell her all about his day so far. Surely he knows he has more of them to come. My dragons need me, and even if I risk my life, I will stand here until my dying breath if it means even just one of my subjects is able to hear my voice, get the smallest sliver of hope. To remember that he loved and is not in this alone, so that he knows I would never be where I am without him. Just how important he is to me. Each and every one, even if there are no survivors, I will let my voice carry throughout the kingdom, echoing off the walls of every honeycomb in the hives. I will speak so that my tribe knows I will never truly leave them. And Wasp stepped out onto the pavilion, dim sunlight reflecting on her scales. She opened her mouth. My tribes, an enemy has come from below. It has clawed its way out of the gravel beneath our talons, stretching closer every hour to blot out the sun. It wishes to cut us off from ourselves and make us forget why we live. This threat to our peace is known as the Othermind. I know we have all seen and heard the terrible things this entity has done. But I'm not just talking about the way it controls dragons like puppets, because it can do something so much greater than forcing muscles to bend to its will. It has ripped the hope right out of us, our tribes, our families. That's not some greater power it holds, because that is something it is only able to do if we let it. A wise man reminded me of that today. Our greatest power comes with our love, something that plant can never take, no matter how hard it tries. I don't even know if anyone can hear my voice right now, my silkwings, hivewings, even the leafwings who might be free. But even the possibility that I might be speaking to no one fills me with no sadness, because of the hope that there might be even just one dragon out there. Just one listening to my message. And even if there is, I want you to know that I will never lose my hope in you. Even now, I see the Othermind's dragons flying closer by the second off the horizon, their eyes a glowing and ghoulish white. But I remember the lies and the joys behind those whose pupils are now hiding. I remember the special spark in all of you. I know how hard things have been for all of us. It is so easy to fall victim to the breath of evil's mind games. But I will give everything I have for you, because our love will triumph. It always has. Each of you are meant for the destinies that lie ahead, and we're not going to let a loud voice tell us otherwise. I do not need the wisdom and foresight of Clearsight to know how important all of you will be for the future and hope of Pantala, because we will have a future. I do not know what will happen next, my lovely dragons, but I do know that none of you will be standing here today, hidden in the darkness, and you will never give up. Your love never will. And I believe in you with my entire heart, and I will give my life for you, because in truth, you are what makes me the queen I am. Every greeting on the gravel roads, every wave through honeycomb windows, I see wings of fire on your back, and eyes of bravery guiding the path. Most important of all, I know you. That's why I'm even giving this speech right now. I know that even if only one of you remains, that you will fight for our home and our dragons. You will save the continent of Pantala, from the tip of its head to the bottom of its claws. You will use the greatest power of all, something that no enemy can truly take without your consent. Each other, and the love that comes with it. I see how you love, help, and heal. Even with no one physically by your sides, if that happens, you will remember and cherish the ones who walked with us, and you will use each other's unending affection. Wasp watched as wide-eyed dragons landed on the stone of the pavilion, their forms coming closer. So she spoke a few final words. My dragons, I will never lose faith in you. I am putting this kingdom in your talons. Even if I am there and I'm not there to see the next day, I know what you will create. And I am so proud of even the thought. I love you. I love you all. The dragons the Othermind were controlling stepped closer and closer by the moment, their black tongues flicking in and out of their mouths, with the fury of a wild animal. Wasp slowed her breaths, eyes transfixed on the setting sun's final seconds. And likely my own. Cottonmouth, you were small enough to leave. You could escape far from Pantala, even search the land you once left. You do not have to stay here with me, especially when I am the breath of evils. Cottonmouth shook his head, letting a soft smile creep onto his lips. I said I trusted you, Wasp, and I meant it. I have made so many mistakes in my life, and I so wish I could go back and change them, but wouldn't ask even for a moment for any different than this. You're right about how hope will never be taken. Even if the Othermind has me again, I cannot wait to see what the dragons of your tribes will accomplish from your words. You mean a lot to them, you know. Cottonmouth's words brought about a sense of peace within Wasp that she knew the both of them were feeling now for the first time in a while. And as the forces of the Othermind stalked closer, their talons now resting against the scales of the Hiveling and the dry, cracked skin of the human, they felt no fear within them. The vines reaching out from the invaders' backs struggled in closer, taken aback by the serenity. A thick, greasy tendril began to push through the invisible barrier of emotion. Its darkened surface was so close to the pair. When suddenly, it snapped in half, its top wriggling in agony on the ground. Green liquid oozed out of the plant, splattering against the wood below. Wasp flinched backward in surprise, and was met with a sight that caused her heart to flutter. A flame silk has snapped the vine in two. A dragon with pale orange eyes. Definitely not milk white. Someone who heard my message, she realized at the start. Someone who hasn't lost her hope. Your Majesty, and weird, baffled reading monkey, we have to get out of here. Wasp noticed where Cottonmouth's gaze now had wandered, and was astonished by the same sight that had him awed. Dragons were leaving the shadows. The tribes were fighting back, taking a leap out of their safety. A leafwing landed on the pavilion, shooting tranquilizer arrows to the Othermind's incoming and savage forces. Take to the streets! Other survivors will guide you two into safety. It wasn't long before Queen Wasp and Cottonmouth were racing through the hives, their ground speeding below them in a flash. Dozens of dragons lit the way with their lanterns, fighting off whatever the breath of evil sent their way. "We heard your message," some shouted as they passed. "We can't give up now, not after our queen was going to risk everything for us. We have to make your intended sacrifice worth something, Your Majesty." Wasp felt the tears run down her scale, seeing blur after blur of smiling and fierce dragons. It was right earlier. I do not know what the future holds, unlike our wonderful and benevolent Clearsight. But I don't think I need magic or special abilities to be able to lead my tribe. In fact, I believe that it takes more to do so well without such aid. My dragons will never continue to amaze me with their love, fearlessness, and hope. We will give everything for each other. Cottonmouth is so close to a cure. With the civilians holed up in the safety cave, we'll be able to find something. We will bring back our home. And the breath of evil will never lay a vine on the scale of a dragon I love ever again. Dragon we love. Pentala's future is bright. Anyway, that's our tip this what if. Please do comment your thoughts down below. I'm actually really happy with the direction I went on this. Oh, I wish our Wasp was this way. What other character roles would you like to see swapped? Let me know. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!